Describe your ideal workplace, office, factory.
I major in business, so I want to become a businessman in the near future. My ideal working place should be in a modern office building. I want to have my own office, so I'll be able to have more privacy. When other people are talking loudly, I can always shut the door to keep all the noises from me. There should be large windows in my office so that I can look at the city scenery when I feel tired from my work and want to take a short break. Nowadays, it's getting harder and harder to work all by oneself. So I need a good team, good coworkers. They should be friendly and good team players. When we have to face challenges, we can use all our power and knowledge to have things work out well. And when there are new members joining us, we could all show our friendliness and make people feel happy and easy to adjust to the new environment. Sometimes I'm a workaholic. I expect my boss to provide enough leisure facilities in the office building so that I don't need to set my feet out and can enjoy a cup of coffee or lie down in the sofa in the lounge to rest for a while. I think a good working environment will not distract the employees but motivate them to work harder. However, only very successful and good companies can provide all the things I've mentioned above. I guess I have to work hard and gain enough experience before I can enter such an ideal working place.
Describe a person you admire. You should say who the person is, what he or she is like, and why you admire him or her.
I'm going to talk about my father because he has been a major influence in my life. My father was always a good role model for me as I was growing up. He's hardworking, patient, and understanding. He's also got a good sense of humor and seems to get on well with everybody. Hopefully, I've inherited some of these traits. I admire my father because I think he brought me and my brother's sisters up well. He was quite strict, but always fair, and he has always been someone I can turn to for advice. I think my father set a good example by working hard and having a positive outlook on life. I remember that he used to leave for work early and come home quite late, but he always made time for me and my brothers and sisters.
Describe a website that you often use. You should say,
Facebook is a social networking website. It's a free website that allows you to keep in contact with friends or find people you've lost touch with. It's one of the most popular websites in the world, with millions of users in different countries. All of my friends use Facebook. One of my friends sent me an email inviting me to join. I signed up, and I've been using it ever since. Facebook allows you to keep up to date with what friends are doing. You have a profile page with information and status updates so that you can tell everyone what you're doing. You can post messages to other people's pages. You can upload photos and videos. I find Facebook most useful for organizing my life, keeping in touch with friends, and storing photos. I think social networking websites have become part of everyday life.
describe your favorite season in your country.
My favorite season in England is winter. A typical English winter would last around.
Describe your favorite season in your country.
My favorite season in England is winter. A typical English winter would last around 4 or 5 months, between November and March. But when I say that I like the winter, I'm really thinking about the coldest month or two each year. During those really wintry months, the temperature drops below zero, and it often snows. Over the last few years, we've had periods of quite heavy snowfall, to the extent that roads have been blocked and schools have had to close. Last winter, I remember looking out of the window one morning and seeing everything covered in a layer of white. Obviously, the snow is what differentiates winter from the other seasons. But when it doesn't snow, there isn't much difference between winter, autumn, and spring. Winter is just a bit colder. The reason I've chosen winter as my favorite season is because I like the snow. I live near the countryside, and the landscape looks beautiful when everything is covered in white. We also celebrate Christmas and New Year in the winter, and these are my favorite festivals.
Describe a future plan. You should say,
I'm going to talk about a future plan that I have, which is to buy a good camera and to become a better photographer. At the moment, I'm just using the camera on my mobile phone, but I've realized that it has its limitations. I thought of this plan when I was at a friend's wedding a few weeks ago. I got some great pictures of the bride and groom and their guests celebrating, but I did notice that with my phone camera, I wasn't able to capture longer range photos or photos in darker conditions. The phone's zoom and flash aren't very good. Next time, I'd like to be able to capture a special occasion in higher quality images. Obviously, this plan depends on whether I can save enough money to buy the camera I'd like. Also, before making a decision about which camera to get, I'll probably talk to a friend who knows more about photography than I do. In terms of buying a camera, I'll achieve this plan if I can save some money. In terms of becoming a better photographer, I think I'll achieve that goal by experimenting with my new camera and by learning as I go along.
Describe a journey you went on.
I would like to tell you about a journey I went on a year ago. My wife and I took a trip to Holland. Both of us wanted to visit Amsterdam very much because we saw pictures and heard stories of friends about how beautiful and wonderful it is. So finally, we bought plane tickets, booked the hotel, packed our bags, and our trip began. We spent a lot of time before our holiday in research of all the interesting places to visit and all the sights to see. So we went to Amster Beer Museum, took a romantic sunset cruise in the water channels, drove to Volendam, a small, prettiest fisherman village, visited a cheese farm. Every evening we took long walks along the channels, resting in small gardens, which Amsterdam has a lot of. Street artists were performing everywhere, and a lot of people came to watch their show. We enjoyed very much everything we did, and especially being together in such a beautiful country. Having my wife by my side on this trip made it even more fun.
Describe an interesting conversation you had with someone you didn't know.
I'm going to talk about an interesting conversation that I had a couple of weeks ago in a music shop. I was walking along one of the main shopping streets in the city center when a large window displaying all sorts of musical instruments caught my eye. Out of curiosity, I decided to go in and have a look around. The person I ended up speaking to was a shop assistant on the second floor in the area of the shop dedicated to acoustic guitars. I hadn't intended to speak to anyone, but the assistant approached me in a friendly way and asked whether I had any questions. I explained to the assistant that I hadn't played the guitar for years, but that I wondered what the differences were between the various acoustic guitars on show. He talked to me about the different makes and models, whether they were factory or handmade, the woods and varnishes used, the variation in sound quality, and, of course, the price range. I found the conversation fascinating because the shop assistant was so knowledgeable. It was obvious that he had a passion for the guitar, and he didn't mind talking to me even though I had made it clear that I didn't intend to buy anything. He even picked up and played 3 or 4 of the instruments to demonstrate the differences in their sound.
Describe a subject that you think should be removed from school education.
I'm going to suggest that art could be taken out of the school curriculum. In my experience, art lessons at school tend to include drawing, painting, and the making of collages using paper, fabric, and other household materials. There are a few reasons why I think that school art lessons are unnecessary. Firstly, I don't believe that drawing and painting are essential skills that children will need when they leave school. Children might find these activities enjoyable, but it's unlikely that they will need them in the working world. Secondly, children can draw, paint, and make collages in their own time at home. Parents can encourage this, and they can even join in. Finally, remembering my own art lessons at school, I don't think we learned any real art skills. The teachers left us to draw or create things, but they didn't provide much technical instruction. Instead of art lessons, children could do more work on core subjects like maths, science, or language. These subjects are more likely to help children in later life when they enter the job market. And I think both children and their teachers would benefit if more time were devoted to them.
Describe an important festival in your country.
Christmas is an annual holiday that, in Christianity, commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ. Popular customs of the holiday include gift-giving, music, an exchange of greeting cards, church celebrations, a special meal, and the display of various decorations, including Christmas trees, lights, nativity scenes, and holly. In addition, Father Christmas, known as Santa Claus in some areas, is a popular figure in many countries, associated with the bringing of gifts for children. Over the Christmas period, people decorate their homes and exchange gifts. In some countries, children perform plays retelling the events of the Nativity or sing carols that reference the event. Christmas, along with Easter, is the period of highest annual church attendance. A special Christmas family meal is an important part of the celebration for many, and what is served varies greatly from country to country. In England and countries influenced by its traditions, a standard Christmas meal includes turkey, potatoes, vegetables, sausages and gravy, followed by Christmas pudding, mince pies, and fruitcake.